Mr. Mime. What do you have to say about that? Sorry, mate. Can't hear you. What you doing to that bear?
Yeah,
Are you okay?
I'm all right.
Yeah. I want you to call Ross right now on the double.
Ross gave you his number.
What's wrong with you, man? Supercells all over France right this second.
Please, understand. In the past 2 weeks, Las Vegas, St. Louis, Chicago were all decimated by storms of unprecedented ferocity.
And you propose that the same could happen here?
Absolutely. It's a small planet. My models indicate that there will be no exceptions. Look at the weather forming outside right now. Noise in the meeting. Punch in 911.
I already punched 911.
And you believe this storm will hit this intensity in Paris and in Europe?
Not just Europe. This is a global crisis. Unless we find out what's causing it, the entire planet could be doomed sooner than we think.
What? Ross! Look, I don't know where you are, man, but you better look out your window right this second.
I think you all had better come see this. Worse in Chicago.
Damage reports, car. Excellent physical conditioning is no solution for crummy time management. Grab a seat, catch up. To repeat, Gay Paris just got stomped. And before that, everything from Nevada to Chicago. In short, the whole world has gone off the rails at the same time that our country is facing the greatest recovery effort since 9/11, which is why we here at Federal Protective Services are picking up the slack. Oh, I'm canceling vacations.
Great.
Get back to work.
Captain, I was...
Say the car. If you're late, it's probably because we were pistol whipping a confession out of someone doing 30 in a school zone. Am I wrong? What I wanted was just for you to congratulate your sister for me. She didn't tell you? Damn, son, they just made her director of FEMA.
Well, that should make her happy.
And now to introduce to you the new interim director of FEMA, the Secretary of Homeland Security, Jim.
Thank you. The unprecedented Category 6 storm has underscored the absolute need for our government to be proactive. That is why the President has chosen Judith Carr to head up FEMA. Her unparalleled record in that organization and her tireless energy will give the American people exactly what they deserve, which is the very best. Ms. Carr?
Thanks, Jim. Since the Secretary has already revealed my secret identity as Wonder Woman, why don't I just take questions? Yes.
Welcome, Ms. Carr.
The President wants to know if she's really up to the job.
Running FEMA? Or catching the spear when the electorate realizes she can't make a multi-state tragedy go poof? Look, worst. I've never seen her rattled. She comes across as credible and authentic on camera. And above all, she's a team player.
Hope you're right.
Ms. Carr, why do you think you were promoted above so many other qualified people within FEMA? Does the fact that your father is a senator figure into it?
Well, it might if my father was part of the party in power. Actually, to be honest, I wasn't the first one approached. FEMA is stretched to its limit. It's not an ideal time to take the reins, but maybe I just have more to prove.
A shelter in Dallas willing to take another
We have 2 million homeless families. No time to blame her.
May I have your attention, please? For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm Judith Carr, and this is the deal. Playing pick up the pieces isn't going to cut it anymore. We've been asked to get ahead of the game, see what's coming, and do something about it before we're called.
Wait, we're getting into early warning?
Exactly. Am I the only one wondering if this spate of storms is merely coincidental? I mean, here, Paris, in the last 2 weeks.
What are you gonna do about the weather?
Predict it. There's gonna be someone out there who could give us a theoretical background on what has happened and tell us whether or not it is going to happen again. Also, Homeland Security has given us a new priority. No matter what comes down the pike, we are to respond to critical governmental infrastructure first. The damage caused by Category 6 storms left us very vulnerable to terrorist attack. So it is crucial that government offices, law enforcement, and basic utilities be online and secure first. From now on, we have a lot of tough decisions to make. If you're at all sentimental, you're definitely in the wrong department. I don't like it either. But those are orders. This is the new policy. Oh, you're still here.
The ex-boss had this assistant, Jesse. Anyway, we had this friends with benefits thing going, and once he got his hands on this study from NAS about extreme weather in the States.
I know. The one by Ross Duffy, I've read it.
Well, actually, you read the edited version. Seems the energy industry didn't like the implication that their byproducts were sending global weather over a cliff. So the White House buried it in plain sight by taking out all the content.
Do you happen to know where I could find this Jesse?
He's so out of my life, and anyway, he shredded all the original copies. Except for this one.
Good evening, sir. I'm terribly sorry to bother you here, but in order to better our preparation, I was going over the allocation of resources, and I found this.
The Ross Duffy report?
Yes, sir.
I read it. It says nothing.
Well, perhaps you read the edited version, sir, because I gotta tell you, the original is a real eye-opener. I mean, it fundamentally predicted the locations that are getting hit by severe weather, including Paris. Yes, I know, it's politically distasteful, but, sir, in light of everything that's going on, I really think we should reconsider.
Jude, if that report was heavily edited after being carefully considered, and do you know why? Because Ross Duffy is a crank.
Now, I want you to rest assured that more research is being undertaken. When and if something turns up, you'll be among the first to know.
I'll see to it.
That's right.
Many are wondering if even the new FEMA is up to the challenge. A new string of supercells has exploded from Seattle to Chicago. Tornado alerts are in effect for all of South Dakota, where massive rainstorms have temporarily closed Mount Rushmore National Park. And just hours ago, what could turn out to be another record-shattering Category 6 tornado has destroyed much of the Mall of America outside Minneapolis, where most of the retailers lost it all.
Lost it all. Maybe that should be the FEMA motto. Maybe we can sell t-shirts.
Great, I'll sign you up for the job. Larry's dad seemed to have predicted what happened in Chicago and Paris.
Sorry, Mom, but it's kind of funny. I mean, I know you don't like him.
I never said that.
You don't have to. I remember the look on your face when you found out Leah and I were dating.
He is painfully smart and reckless. I had a hard enough time with him in college and nothing was at stake then.
Yeah, but aren't you the one telling me that your job is more important than any of the individual people involved?
So you tell me I should get over myself?
The fate of the world hangs in the balance, Director Carr.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that Ross would be distracted because he'd be arguing with me and consequently not paying any attention to the boy who's spending way too much time with his daughter.
Would be complete coincidence.
Mm-hmm. Does the idea of a secret mission appeal to you?
Do I have a Japanese kitty cat tattooed on my butt?
I'll take that as a yes to both.
Dr. Duffy? I'm Melody Chang, assistant to the director of FEMA.
Sorry, wrong address.
The director wants to talk to you about your report. The original. Paris, Chicago. With predictions like that, you should be an odds maker.
Cute. But I'm not wasting any more time working for the government.
Then you should be interested to know that I'm not officially here. The director's working under the radar. Sure to win some points for that.
She does? Who is she?
Judith Carr.
Get out of the rain, kid.
Now that look tells me you think I just chucked a great opportunity to get heard, get funding, and stop being the weatherman in the Iron Mask.
I'm sure you did the right thing.
Good night, honey.
Night, Dad. Did I hear someone knocking?
Yeah, some girl. Wrong address.
The terrible storms across America and now in Europe may only be the beginning.
These are frightening times, friends, but they are less so when we remember we don't have to face them alone. Reach into your heart, reach deep, and give.
Pull out your wallets and give till it bleeds.
We had an anonymous tip about an undernourished, underappreciated reporter locked in this facility.
You know, technically, obit writers aren't reporters. Nicely done.
You giving away our $200 of savings?
You know what I hate? People that use God to rip off other people. People who actually believe in God.
Well, maybe you'll get to do an in-depth series on them and get promoted out of the graveyard. To the reporter's credo. Comfort the afflicted and deflect the comfortable.
Now, you're not planning on taking advantage of me now that you're applying me with alcohol, are you? What's that?
Just a scrape.
Yeah, you didn't get into a scrape, did you?
Nothing that wasn't worth it.
I don't know what it is about you. Some people want to kill you. All I ever want to do is kiss you.
This technique you got there. Very fluid center of gravity. Do you think you can make me something special?
Like an IQ?
Ouch. Not everyone can have brains and beauty.
And yet we all seem to get the same top honors at the Wilson Academy.
Can I help it if I'm being groomed for a life of political glory?
Maybe you should try actually doing something.
Which brings me back to my original thought.
Okay. Go.
555 0129.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you actually think I was sending that to you?
Keeping me abreast of things?
Just reminding me what you're missing.
Yo, Stu. I got an extra ticket and backstage pass for Rockfest. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask you. Just think about it.
Unbelievable.
Tax dollars at work.
With these historic storms striking the U.S., is the administration concerned we may be facing a global weather catastrophe?
Global catastrophe. These have been punishing storms, but isn't that a little chicken little?
Mr. Secretary.
Evan,
Lisa?
Evan, is the president revisiting his decision not to sign the Kyoto Accord?
Now, we currently have an energy policy in place that will take us cleanly through the 21st century. The president's been very clear about this. Stay the course. Focus on the future. And not be panicked by a few fluke storms. Thank you very much.
Don't panic a few fluke storms.
Haven't you heard? FEMA's gonna kiss it and make it better.
The moisture content's gone up 40% since a week ago.
Well, George has water on the brain.
Temperature's free falling.
Let's get out of here!
Water's freezing. It's expanding. Stop! Hang on! I got you! Can't do it! Hang on!
What's the point of me jacking a T1 line if you're just gonna lose it? Of course, it isn't a complete waste of time. Doc! It's for you!
So this is what a grant from Greenpeace buys.
Rents till September, at which point I lose my grad students. Everything's just great.
I read your report, Ross. The original.
You want some tea?
No thanks.
So you read my report. What do you need me for?
You've got new tornado alleys springing up on 2 continents, and your report suggested the locations 2 years before it happened.
Get this straight. I predicted the locations. But I was in Paris. That storm was off the scale. I never predicted that.
So you're saying it was a matter of degrees?
Degree? We're not supposed to get that kind of weather on this planet. Made me realize that my report was just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, yes, global warming is creating new regions of extreme weather, but something else is going on. Something else is turning ordinary storms into the worst weather ever recorded on the planet, please.
So why is that? Oh my God, you don't know, do you?
It's a complex problem, Judith.
I seem to remember you telling me one time there was no problem so complex you could not figure it out with one night's concentrated thought.
There's no need to make this personal.
I'm misquoting you?
Yeah, I need some air. You want some air? Let's go get some air.
Ross, the fact that this is down to me and you is profoundly odd for both of us. But the truth is, I've run out of all the irascible geniuses, so I can't just let you walk away. And frankly, you owe me.
Judith.
Listen, right now, I have money and I have power, and I'm looking at the one guy who might be able to save a lot of people from dying. So, you gonna work with me?
I'll need 2 teams. One in a military aircraft, the other one on the ground. This trigger, whatever it is we're looking for, doesn't give any warning. It doesn't stick around afterwards, which means we're gonna have to dive right into one of these suckers if we have any hope of finding out what sets it off.
The Air Force is gonna take some doing. Do you have any idea who you want for the ground unit?
Yeah, 2 people. One of them's almost dead, and the other one wants me dead.
Great.
Hello? Hold on. Excuse me, sir. You feel like talking?
What are my other options? Tell me something good. Ross! Yo, goat! Well, you get all sentimental thinking I was the goner? Are you kidding? I never been more ready. All right, I'll be there. Oh. Ross, I'm probably going to need a little help with the driving for a spell. Well, if you can get her, that'd be great. Adios, little darling. You're going to need to...
500-year events occurring only a few days apart. What could it mean? Gee, Dad, what could it mean? Why don't they interview you?
At least you don't have illusions about how it's going to work out this time.
You've seen the news, gal. How would I say no to them?
Ross, don't expect too much. They need you until they need to get rid of you. And
Don't worry. The last vestiges of the idealistic college student find me dead.
well, it will be like going back to college, won't it?
No. I'm not going back anywhere.
I gotta go to work. Bye. Bye, sweetheart.
Bye, Mom.
Oh, I may be late. I have an ocean meeting tonight.
Right. Well, the boy from the Panhandle never looked better.
I couldn't make any sense out of your brief, Professor, but then again, you're not paying me for academic analysis.
No, I'm hiring you because I need the kind of data that can only be gotten when the world's ending around whoever's getting it. It's the data we have to have. Are you sure you're ready to get back up on the horse?
Let me tell you something, Professor. When I was up in that twister, looking down at the Sears Tower, it struck me. I was a man facing his destiny, strapped in an SUV. So what did I do?
What?
I popped that lock and I stepped outside and I flew.
You did not.
I flew. I figured, hell, I'm already dead. Why not enjoy the ride? Ride that whirlwind. But that's when I saw it. My destiny. I was flying higher than incoming traffic into O'Hare, but I suddenly knew that I wasn't going to crash. That tornado dropped me straight into Lake Michigan. Point your toes! Point me at that. Does she drive as dirty as she looks?
Uh-huh. And it's all for you, buddy. We added 1,500 pounds of ballast to keep the rubber on the road. I need to send you in there as close as possible.
Well, that's hell on the paint, but a little slice of heaven every other way, huh? Damn, girl. You never looked that good in a lab coat.
4 years ago, when Penny and I first took our vows and married not only our lives, but our purpose, we had no idea how many believers would join us.
But you're here. You're here. And more every day. Safe. Together. We can see past the pain of the storms, the tragedies. We can see God's great love protects us now and evermore.
What shall we sing, Penny?
Seeing as it's our anniversary, I'd choose something from Elvis. But I don't want to get you in trouble. Why don't we see if Monty has a hymn for us?
Next time you should pick a smaller kid.
I know, but they ate it up, didn't they? I can't get over how many new faces are. I just wish they didn't come to us so full of fear.
Oh, but that's why they come. Maybe that's what all these storms are about. God shaking the shoulder of those who need waking up.
Oh, that's what's beautiful, Pen. You always see the hand of the Lord at work.
The door was open. I'm sorry, Reverend. Penny.
It's my fault. I asked him to bring me some numbers.
He feels the passion so strongly. But something makes it hard for him to find peace, doesn't it?
Yeah. The passion between you and me.
Yeah.
Come in, Mad Dog. This is Wind Rider. We're pulling out of D.C. and heading northwest. Can you give me and the little lady a target?
Feeds from National Weather Service are showing us elements of the Chicago storm hung up on an occluded front over Michigan.
Wind Rider, what Dano's trying to say is the toad soaker that blew away Chicago is reforming.
I was definitely not trying to say toad soaker. Tommy, this air mass is headed east at about 50 miles per hour.
Well, we're heading northwest. We should cross paths just before Detroit.
I know it doesn't look like much, but it's the only lead we got, and I want you to follow it.
No problem, Professor. If there's any extreme weather within 200 miles of that front, this finely honed nose will bring us right to it.
Roger that.
Excuse me.
Congrats.
Well, thanks for the thought. I think it works a little better if you actually believe what you're saying, but
Jude, you've always been a team player, and now they put you in. That's good. That's what you worked for.
if only the game weren't so corrupt.
Well, maybe I'm just cynical, or it's another coincidence and I'm working an event that you've been invited to.
What, you think?
My two children. What a pleasant surprise.
Did you request that Gavin be at this event?
Of course I did. I wanted first-class protection, and it's a good idea that brothers and sisters lay eyes on each other occasionally.
Now, just because you're a public servant, that doesn't make the rest of us your servants.
Am I all that bad?
Well, considering how many years you've been in Congress, you could be worse, but yeah, Dad, you're pretty bad.
I'm very proud of you. I've always told you that working your way...
Inside the Beltway would lead to great opportunity. Yes, I know, I haven't forgotten.
But you have, my dear. You have committed a mortal political sin. You have assumed that reality drives policy, when any half-witted government official knows that it's the other way around.
The Duffy report. How many people know?
Honestly, all that matters is that Chief of Staff Horst is one of them. Don't let his look fool you. He's hard and he's nasty, particularly when it comes to his first love, the energy business. Alan, have you had the privilege of meeting my daughter?
Indeed I have. Nice to see you again, Miss Carr.
Nice to see you, sir.
I trust you're getting the hang of things.
I have an excellent staff,
You
but
may be the most important person in the government now, Miss Carr. The nation's hurting. They need your help. They need you to put things back the way they were. We don't expect you to get everything perfectly right first, just as long as everything's back to normal by, say, Friday morning.
Back! Everybody back! Stay back!
They're poisonous!
What I understand, they only have to touch you. We need a curator, now. On it.
Dad! You guys get out of here! Everybody clear out! Clear out of here! Everybody get out!
Doc! Doc!
What?
You're gonna want to come see this. Come on.
Somewhere near Cairo.
Does anybody speak Arabic?
Duka duka.
Hi, it's Judith.
Hey, Jude, it's Ross. Now, I'm sorry to call you with bad news. We got a major outbreak in a place I never predicted.
Yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore.
Did you hear about Egypt?
I've been watching the news all morning. I imagine Donnie will have something to say.
He'll say what he always does, that the Lord is watching over us.
Penny, did you see this? Exodus 8:4, and the frogs shall come up both upon thee and upon thy servants and upon all thy people. If the storms are a warning, how can this be anything but a clear sign?
Plagues. Very Old Testament. Puts everybody on their toes.
And it was Egypt, Penny. Pharaoh's own city. It's destroyed. I want to do something to prove to the Lord that I'm no longer the man I was before you raised me up. The Lord has shown us his way. We could be his instruments. We could make another sign.
I believe the Lord might smile on that, Monty. But would have to be a secret. Our secret.
Get this all around. Send this to my office and send it to Bob as well, all right?
Here's a little human interest story. Discredited crank given second chance by novice administrator.
Last night, the Great Pyramid, which basically shrugged off the last 5,000 years of everything this planet has to offer it, went down like the first little piggy's house. Now, this isn't about my ideals. This isn't about the truth. This is about protecting our backs.
Couldn't you find another mad scientist?
Look, just let us do the research. I'm not going to release anything to anybody. I am fully aware that the energy industry has hundreds of billions of dollars riding on the status quo. But we better know something if there's something to know.
You know, when I put you up for this job, I didn't think you were quite this smart.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'll let you know.
Well, as long as you're in such an open-minded mood, there is another thing I have to ask you.
Yo, Colonel, there's some DC folk in your office looking for you.
You knew my reckless youth would catch up.
If that's what it is, I better start being much more reckless. These guys seem to think you're some kind of hero.
Oh, thank you. But you're only a hero if you do something worthwhile.
Your reputation as a hurricane hunter is second to none, Colonel.
Well, it's not really that hard to find something that's 200 miles across, moving at 12 miles an hour, but it does keep me out of trouble.
We'll be straight with you. We need you to fly into these storms right when they're producing the most violent weather any of us have ever seen. It'll be extremely dangerous and demanding.
Demanding? For someone my age.
Sir, this isn't about getting data for a research paper. This is about storms that are killing people because we don't understand them well enough.
I understand your mission and your concern, but the only thing about me that's old and slow is the plane I fly. The C-130 is not what you need. No, if we're gonna be chasing something that's gonna pop up anytime, anywhere, you're gonna need something fast. They're modifying an SR-71 at a base in Arizona.
I already have approval. In case you haven't noticed, everything between Vegas and Chicago is in shambles, and it is my job to make sure the rest of the country doesn't follow suit. No, for God's sake, we're talking about people here, not protecting the paint off your precious airplane. Oh, wait, hold on, I got another call. I forgot the lasagna in the freezer. Look, if you don't release your aircraft to FEMA right now, the next phone call you'll be getting is from the head of Homeland Security, reassigning you to a radar station somewhere in Tierra del Fuego. Let me help with the salad. What would I do without you?
You'd probably starve.
I'm so sorry.
No, Mom, it's okay. Go on saving the world.
Yes. No, that is exactly
Colonel, we usually like to keep her around Mach 1 when dealing with dirty weather. You may be right. Let's find out. Colonel, we're gonna spin. This is Cyclone 1. I'd call our test flight a success. Standing by if you point us at that storm.
Roger that.
Gavin, I need you to look after your sister. She's playing with some very big boys, and they have some very nasty toys.
Isn't that what you trained her for? You made her believe that she had to work in the system. She could never accept that the system is totally corrupt. And how could she?
Because that would mean that her father was corrupt.
Look out! Close the door!
Stay here.
These are frightening times, friends, but they are less so when we remember we don't have to face them alone.
Join us. In God's house, you will find comfort, friendship, and strong shoulders to...
See, what they're doing is they're using people's growing fear about the storm to build their ministry. It's not right. Someone should do a story about them. I'd like to go down and see if I can't get them to give us an interview.
Where's the obit on that greenskeeper?
It's on your desk, ma'am.
Bridget, the Halls are very media savvy. Barbara Walters might get an interview, not you.
Well, I'd like to find a way. I mean, if there's no risk, why don't you just let me take a run at it? All you can do is win.
All right. Just make sure your ways don't get in the way of your day job.
Tommy, what is it?
Something's brewing. Maybe you better get ready to launch.
There's nothing to read. I don't want to waste...
you copy?
Hey, Billy, what's up?
My GPS has you at 4287 north by 7886 west. Is that right?
Dead on.
Detroit Next Rad's reporting severe pockets of wind.
Something very big is churning right over your heads.
You certainly can't tell it by looking.
It's still way up there. I advise you get a rocket up right now.
Yeah, I'm on it. What are you doing?
Helping you. That thing made my neck itch.
Step back.
Faith, it's Billy. Do you see what I see?
Yeah, she's gorgeous and she actually works.
Look, I know you're the proud mama of AR-23, but could you just spare a second to take a look at the data?
How long?
5 minutes max.
Faith, you got 5 minutes, girl. This is big. It's exactly what we need. Now try and find a safe place and launch again.
We gotta find you some cover.
How did you do that? I mean, I went to college for this, all right? I had to send a rocket up in the air. And you what, stand there and stick a finger in the air?
We have Tommy's position. Be on target in 2 minutes.
come from, they call that a tornado magnet. Better warn them.
Are you crazy? There's kids on the road.
Sorry, there's a tornado on its way. We have to get to safety now. Everyone, we have to move to some safety. There's a tornado coming, believe me.
Get away from the trailers!
Find the low ground, get in a ditch!
Hey, dude, cool yelling. You gotta get out of here right now. Why would I do that? Find some low ground. We got a big twister coming in here about 2 minutes. Let her rip, man. Let me know how that works out for you, Slick. Leave that alone. Let it go. Let it go. Put those down. No.
Directly over the trailer park now.
Data acquisition engaged. Readings are erratic.
Must not be close enough. Let's go find the heart of this sucker. Position now.
Data should be streaming.
Talk to me, Dano. Talk to me.
Still trying, Professor. There's no answer.
What did I tell you? No twister's gonna kill Tornado Tommy.
Sorry about that. I think I panicked. The danger's past, right?
Now the danger's past.
Hello?
Doc, they're alive.
Faith?
Tell me you got the data.
Just got one short burst of scrambled code from the plane.
I got all the data you need, Professor, with my own 2 eyes. I've been up close and personal with this storm before in Chicago.
How could you possibly know that?
It's like kissing, darling. No two do it the same way. Besides, I already got a hickey from the last one.
Do you agree, Faith?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if it was a Category 6, but when you're standing under it, it feels like the sky's falling.
Now, if our Chicago storm maintains its path, Buffalo's next on the menu.
Professor, it looks like we have another major disturbance in the Caribbean.
Please tell me these storms are not going to join up.
Miami says they will, and when they do, they're going gonna swing north.
Son of
You gotta be kidding me, Ross. Melody, get me the southeastern satellite feed.
Right, gotta go.
Those 3 storms have been converted into 1 hurricane?
Boss, we've got nothing in reserve. We get hit by a second weather disaster, we're gonna need a FEMA to look after FEMA.
Boy, did I choose the wrong week to get promoted.
Can't you feel it? Feel the life, the energy, the spirit that says, nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me. Amen.
You know, friends, when I heard that the tragedy of poisonous frogs at the museum was being called a plague, I scoffed. But now, with an assault of flies, perhaps these really are the Lord's plagues. It's right here in the good book. Exodus 10:6, and flies shall fill the houses of your officials. Another devastating storm is headed for Buffalo, New York. Extreme weather in Asia may have killed thousands. What else can the Lord be saying but come to me, hurry, don't waste another minute.
Now, what Penny means...
Friends, as Donnie always says, once the Lord knows we trust him, we have nothing to fear. Show him your faith. Send what you can. I have something to show you from one believing soul. You know what is in here, friends? The deed to his house. Yes. Now I'm sure I've got my home in heaven paid for. Oh, bless you. You will be saved. Oh, Donnie, lead us in a song of victory, won't you?
Glory to God in the highest glory. Peace to God's people on earth.
Our ratings are on a steady climb. Donations are at an all-time high. More and more people are waking to God's purpose.
Sophia, let's talk about fear.
Oh, please. What is it?
Then let's talk about the flies.
So I opened a box of bugs. A few flies get loose, and thousands of... If we work this right, tens of thousands of people will turn back to God.
Are you crazy? There could be a federal investigation.
You wake up, Donnie. You pray for an hour. You work on your sermon for another 2. You shake hands at the photo ops. You think everything else around here happens by magic?
Well, I deeply value what you do for...
Well, then stop acting like you alone know what God is asking us to do.
Well, these storms are not God's punishment. Global warming is an act of man. But we're too afraid to face up to that. It's the whole point of my church, to bring people into God's house and free them from their fears so they can face the challenges ahead.
Well, that's easy for you to say. You've never been afraid in your life. But some people, that's all they understand.
Well, we have to undo the damage, Penny. We have to put ourselves on the line for our beliefs.
Well, what are you talking about?
I'm going to the storm. I'm going to preach from beneath its awesome force. And we will not be afraid because we will put ourselves in the hands of the Lord. We will do this together, and he's coming too.
Let me tell him that the flies was my idea.
No, everything's fine. It's just Donnie and I have very different ideas of how to accomplish the Lord's work.
Well, that was just like old times. You, me, cheap pizza.
Yeah, thanks for the break. For a half hour, we could actually pretend things were normal.
Normal? Were we ever normal?
No. Normal's overrated. We had a special brand of normal.
Abby normal?
Yeah, bring that up.
That was bad. What's this?
This car, Dr. Duffy. Max Wilder from WGBC. We've heard rumors that you are utilizing FEMA funds in support of Dr. Duffy's weather research. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. We have to understand what we're facing in order to prepare for it.
Dr. Duffy, what proof do you have that everyone but you is wrong?
They weren't wrong.
It's true at the time they had legitimate criticisms that I was too stubborn to acknowledge. What I'm working on now takes those concerns into consideration.
Now, would it be unfair to say you brought Dr. Duffy on board because of your recent divorce and because of the fact that you were college lovers?
You know what, this interview's over.
Ross! Florida called. Hurricane Eduardo escalated to Category 5.
Just one more question. Has that relationship been rekindled?
As Florida guards itself for a Category 5 hurricane to hit land later today, all eyes are on the head of FEMA and her surprising reliance on Dr. Ross Duffy.
Would it be unfair to say you brought Dr.
Lyra?
Duffy on board because of your recent divorce and because of the fact that you were both college lovers?
You know what, this interview's over.
Answer the question. It's a legitimate question.
Well, I guess that explains why they were so uptight when we first started going out.
Didn't they think we'd ever find out?
I'm sorry.
The director of FEMA blushing on national TV.
How about you let me go bust the people that sent her on?
Well, I appreciate the impulse. I did want to see you about something you can put your gung-ho talent into.
What you need me to do? Tabanus punctifier. Western horsefly. They don't fly here. Turgeson was basically laughing at me. He said since I already had the frogs, why not the bugs too?
Well, if it's any consolation, my editor laughed at me when I asked if I could write a real story.
So what does that mean? Are we doomed to mediocrity?
I prefer to think that our best is yet to come.
In that case, let's make the time pass more enjoyably.
This isn't so bad, Ritter. I had to wear pressure suits just to climb into this baby.
They didn't pressurize the cabin for our comfort, Colonel. The equipment likes it better.
Cyclone 1, your data stream is hot. So's that hurricane, man.
Let me improve your view.
Welcome to Florida. Theme park for disaster.
Say a prayer, Ritter. None of those folks will never get a chance to.
I've covered a lot of hurricanes, and I've never seen anything like this. It's a definite Category 5. The winds have to be gusting at 150 miles per hour. If this isn't hell on earth, I don't know what is. The superstorm that destroyed Mount Rushmore and has now traveled straight across the northern United States is heading straight for Buffalo, New York. FEMA's new director, Judith Carr, is already being criticized for the way she is handling this latest disaster. Paris, Egypt, Chicago, Hong Kong, leaving everyone everywhere thinking one thing: what's the next target?
Even though Hurricane Eduardo has moved north of Miami, the winds are still punishing. Georgia and the Carolinas are bracing for the ultimate. I'm all right. I'm okay.
I don't care if you have to rub your feet against the carpet to get the electricity on. Just do whatever it takes, and then just call me as soon as it's up. Hey, how about breakfast?
No. I get enough of your job already. You know, like learning key details of your life from press conferences.
Stuart, I'm sorry. That was a long time ago.
But what are you doing?
In case you haven't noticed, the sky is falling, and Ross and I are trying to do something about it.
All I know is that this is creating a lot of tension in Lyra's family. And anything that makes Lyra unhappy, it makes me unhappy.
Stuart, you're not being fair about this. Stuart!
I want you to know I got nothing to apologize for, but I'm sorry anyway.
Sorry you got caught?
Caught? On camera, that's all.
You seem to forget that Judith and I were roommates for 2 years.
What does that mean?
We went on double dates. I can tell when she's interested.
Honey, you were the one who stole her boyfriend.
Well, maybe she's thinking about stealing him back. The thing is, you two just looked so damn guilty. She makes you think about it, doesn't she? The road not taken.
I made my choice a long time ago, and for a million reasons. That was, and is, still the right choice.
So why does it sound like you're trying to convince yourself?
All my life, I've lived by a set of assumptions. That there are boundaries, limits, physical laws. There's no such thing as an F6 tornado or a Category 6 storm, and I'm just not certain about anything right now.
If you could be wrong about that, what else could you be wrong about?
This had better be good, Billy.
It is, as long as bad is the new good. Tommy's nose is twitching just outside of Buffalo.
I gotta go.
Reverend Hall, it really is an honor to have you here.
Well, thank you.
Mrs. Hall?
Welcome to Buffalo. We're completely sold out tonight. I think people are really scared.
But we're here to help take away that fear, aren't we? Is your crew ready to do a sound check? They are good, aren't they?
Oh, they won't disappoint you, Reverend Hall.
Well, it's not about me. A lot of other people need to get the message.
Damn! Both bridges are out.
We're never gonna make it.
They're more afraid of getting run down by that than me.
Yeah, rightly so.
If she stays on the water, we can nail her from the dock.
Colonel Davis, our target just took out 2 bridges near Buffalo. Where are you?
Iowa.
What the hell are you doing there? We need the data.
I had to run to the service station, but we're on our way.
Look, you wanted to make a point to me, you've made it. Let's call this off now. Don't even do the sound check.
It is frightening, isn't it? Which is exactly why we're here.
Donnie!
Now, I believe in the Lord, Anna. And I also believe he takes care of those who takes care of themselves. Now, this is a brand new ballpark. It has 4 different lightning arresters and its own weather station. And if the wind gusts over 60, well, we'll just call it off. Now, Penny, you got to ask God for direction. I did. And the voice that answered said, show them there's nothing to fear but fear itself.
And yet our membership soared after I said that the flies were God's plague.
We are never going to talk about those plagues again.
Donnie, God gave us all this wealth so we could work for him.
Better tighten that harness and light up the data pod.
Roger.
This is Cyclone 1. You're good to go, Cyclone 1.
Reader is transmitting now.
Colonel, how long can you keep feeding us this?
As long as you need it, Doc.
Get on the plane! It's the only way out of here!
Doc, what the hell is that?
Nothing I've ever seen. Which makes it what I think we've been looking for.
You want to launch from here or further out?
All the way out! We've come this far.
Extreme low pressure, very cold, bone dry. Look at the gas mixture. Are we staring at the trigger?
Here she comes!
All right, we'll launch from here.
Found a severe wind shear.
Wind shear? This bad? Losing the data stream. Katie, you and Patrick, get me an update. Billy, where the hell is Tommy and Faith?
They're right smack in the middle of it.
Let's hope they can give us what we need.
You take this stuff seriously, don't you? That's a rare thing. I like that. This feels familiar. Wow! Tell me that ain't better than working at a bar.
Right now, I'd rather be serving a bunch of drunks.
And there came down a storm of wind, and they came unto him and said, Master, Master, we perish. But then he arose and said unto them, Where is your faith? And they stared into his steady eyes, and their cries ceased, and their calm descended. This is exactly the message that we must deliver. The great storms that test our cities and our faith. Who will stand with me now?
In this, my darkest hour, I stand before you to honor the memory of Donnie. A man whose calling was more important than his life. A man whose life was its own message. God will take you to his bosom, no matter how late in the game. I believe the Lord took Donnie so suddenly as a sign that if we take the Lord into our hearts, he will raise us into heaven. Friends, we must now accept that we could indeed be facing the end of days. Let us all make ourselves as ready as Donnie was for the Lord's summons. The storms, the disasters, the plagues of frogs, of flies. What other warnings must the Lord deliver unto us? Let us no longer hold in stock what we cannot take to heaven. Let us use what we have, give what we have, to spread the message to our brothers and sisters everywhere. Please, let us pray.
I heard the Lord speak through you today in your strength and in your grace.
Thank you, Monty. You understand. And I think they do. But, oh, so many others, so many remain deaf to the Lord's will.
Like Pharaoh.
Yes, like Pharaoh. What did it take to bring him around? Death of the firstborns.
Fear. And that's what religion's turned into. Some guy on the street just gave me this. The news isn't any better.
Do I hear a crusade again?
I got the Penny Hall interview.
I thought her husband just kicked the bucket.
Which was my ticket in. You should have read the glowing obit my paper ran. It was so beautiful, Penny Hall called me herself.
I had no idea you were so devious.
And you call yourself a cop. Anyway, I tried to get her to delay it, but she insists on it. She's in mourning, but she can't shut up.
Milking the death of her husband.
Yeah, well, she's on the air turning your frog and fly investigations into plagues. Why not milk poor dead Donnie while she's at it? When I look at that woman, I see something very wrong.
Yeah, well, I look at this woman and I see something very right.
Ugh, sweaty. I'll get you later.
It's very sad when you realize how many lives have been lost and still not knowing where many of them are, in most cases even who they are. Officials say it will be some time before they can put all of the pieces to this tragic puzzle together. Maria?
From here, it's almost impossible to imagine the power of a storm that has ripped multi-story buildings. These are solid concrete buildings from their foundations. These are structures...
How bad is it in Buffalo?
This structure's trashed and casualties are high. I've committed to every last resource I've got left.
Which is what we need to talk about. You've read the latest Weather Service assessment?
Yep, 60% chance of Hurricane Eduardo hitting the D.C. metro area. Thanks, it's good to go.
You know the policy. We need to protect the political and military infrastructure.
Yes, I know. I plan on doing some juggling.
It's not about juggling. It's about taking away from one to take care of the other.
I've got real people really hurting out there. D.C.'s hypothetical.
D.C. is also a low-lying city on a tidal river with a hurricane coming. It is the priority. Now, it is imperative that you and your people make sure the government stays online. This is not a request, Judith.
What else, Jim?
Congress has just gone into emergency recess. We're offering to evacuate families of all essential personnel who are staying behind. Your name is on that list. Judith, it is critical that you can perform your function without personal distractions, or any more personal distractions. I know I wouldn't want my family here.
You don't have a family, Jim. Duffy's family goes on that list.
I can't just add
His expertise is key to understanding what's happening and saving lives. To me, he's the single most important person in the city right now.
Okay, done. Done.
I've been staring, Billy. Staring, and I can't see it.
Cut yourself some slack, Doc. The right stuff only gave us 15 seconds of data, and Tommy and Faith didn't even launch.
You know, I ought to be able to see it even without a complete data set.
The trigger.
Damn straight. There's got to be some correlation in the data, in the pieces, a clue.
We're working on it. We'll find it.
Are we in a bad mood?
No.
Good. Because, I'm about to ruin your day. Jim wants us to evacuate our families until the threat of the hurricane passes.
Now, last week I was persona non grata, now I'm essential personnel. Assume you wouldn't be here if you didn't think it was the right thing to do.
Well, I think under the circumstances, we don't have any choice.
Evacuated? To where?
Greenbrier Hotel. It's a military facility in West Virginia.
It's not for me.
Well, this isn't optional, Stuart. The city could be very dangerous. I need you safe.
Maybe I should make the decision for myself.
Not this time, kiddo.
Fine. I'll go pack.
Oh, come on, look on the bright side. Lyra, you'll be going with Stuart.
And you'll be staying with Judith.
Thanks for meeting me. I just need to get out of the house.
Don't worry about it.
What? No, don't look at the camera. Lyra wanted a happy moment. Oh, he looked at the camera, Lyra.
Screw off, Peter.
Come on, car. Why don't you hop back in your limo and find someone who gives a... If you really loved her, you wanted to upgrade it.
Oh my gosh!
Little flame!
Oh no!
Hey! Everything all right, boys? No trouble? They're just breaking up.
He's a little upset.
Why don't you two head off in separate directions, huh? See you on the bus, killer. I can't believe that idiot's coming, too.
Look, maybe we should elope.
Billy, would you get that? Put that back on.
I think it's hot enough.
Put the kettle back on. Genius. I know what the trigger is. It's composed of two elements, and one of them is us.
Us? What does that mean?
Our power plants, our cities, they're heat islands. They generate thermal columns that shoot all the way up through the atmosphere.
Heat islands. Ross, our cities and factories have been pumping out heat for years, hundreds of years.
Exactly, that's why I discounted it.
Can I turn this?
No, forget that. But what if that column of heat, it was powered by all of our air conditioners, our cars stuck in traffic, not to mention the 5-year record-breaking heat wave that we've been having? Now, what if all that heat rose up and it hit something really cold? Ever hear of the mesosphere?
Yes, it's the highest part of the atmosphere.
Right. It's above where planes fly, where the clouds live. It's cold up there. It's really cold. It's like minus 150 degrees. And it's not supposed to come into contact with where we live. But I think our greenhouse gases have pumped enough energy into the mesosphere to destabilize it past the tipping point.
What happens if it tips?
It falls. Now, I think chunks of mesosphere falling all the time, they largely go unnoticed, unless they collide with a thermal column. And when that happens, you're going to get an enormous thermal differential. Instant tornado alley. Now, when you add genuine bad weather, that whole thing ratchets up 2 or 3 orders of magnitude.
Can you prove this?
A Chicago storm's moving northeast. One of these thermal columns is going to hit a falling chunk of mesosphere, and when it does, we're going to be there to record it.
If you're going to guess, where would you say it's going to hit next?
I bet everything on New York.
There are 20 million stories in the naked city, but our story makes the rest irrelevant.
The sky really is falling.
As Washington prepares for the arrival of Hurricane Eduardo, first responders have been put on high alert. Moments ago, a White House spokesman assured us that all precautions are being taken to assure that government services continue.
Well, look, your best friend Pete, guess he's going too.
Yeah, I'm thrilled.
Now listen, it's only for a few days, right? When you get back, these storms are over. You and me are gonna spend a lot of time together, whether you like it or not. You be good. And take care of yourself, okay? All right?
Bye.
Bye.
Don't worry, Dad. We'll be fine. Say hi to your storm for me.
You take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Keep your head down.
Yeah, Dad.
Well, I thought you might like to catch up. You always say you can't be a decent engineer if you don't stay on top of the latest developments. You're gonna have plenty of time.
I don't know, Ross. Maybe it's good. Give us a chance to think about what we really want.
Gail.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Cannot thank you enough for what you wrote. I have so many photographs of Donnie, but I think you captured him as none of them do.
Thank you.
I guessed you were a believer. Have you watched the show often?
To be honest, no.
All the better. It's people like you I want to reach. Maybe you can help me do that. Let's talk.
We have 37,000 National Guard soldiers and airmen positioned to assist and respond. Tornado alerts are in effect for all 5 boroughs of New York City. Disaster alerts.
Dave, get that link to the New York City Emergency Command Center up again. See how much longer the National Guard's gonna be. They gotta get there before the storm hits tonight.
Joey, we'll report on this in 20 minutes. Billy, we got that link to New York?
Yeah, it's up.
Good. Faith, Tommy, Colonel Davis, remember, when things start popping, you're gonna have to rely on your own judgment.
Don't you worry, Professor. This time we're gonna get you a complete data set all the way up to 15,000 feet.
Colonel Davis, I know I'm asking you to fly to the edge of your aircraft's safety envelope.
Something I haven't done before.
All right, remember, I need proof from the ground and the air, an unimpeachable cross-section of the trigger. Thermal column rising, slab of mesosphere falling. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna nail this sucker to our trophy wall.
Roger that.
Taking all the kids.
You list one from each family.
Sit down!
She's my younger sister!
Sit down! Shut up! Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Sit down! Shut up! Shut up!
Shows the worst part of the storm missing Manhattan, but even if you wanted to leave the city, every artery in and out is jam-packed and impassable. Let's hope the blasé New Yorkers are right once again.
This is Texas way?
I'm from Oklahoma, but the answer is yes, it is. The end is here!
You got no idea what's coming.
Not that they could do much about it if they did.
Get away!
Control, we've made contact.
Come on, we need that data. Guys, we got twisters.
Come on, New York. Show 'em how tough you are.
What do you got for readings?
We launch in the next 10 minutes for money. Let's set up over there.
Funnels, I got 2, I got 5 funnels. This is huge.
The storm that was supposed to miss New York is not only hitting the city full force, but now we're getting reports that a massive storm surge is hurling its way at the city. But this wasn't supposed to happen. What the hell is going on?
Let's launch this thing and get the hell out of the canyon. Oh my God.
Up there!
My last rocket.
Faith, we got a job to do. Let's make this one count. Oh, girl, hold together now.
The airframe stress is pinning, sir.
I'm aware of that, Ritter.
Well, we should do something about it.
I'll keep the bird in one piece. You keep the data moving.
Transmitter power is low.
Boosted. Cannibalize the navigation system.
Right now, in the middle of this? What's going on, Colonel?
What's up?
Portside generators down. Full stabilization computers are offline.
Data pod?
Trying to reboot it, but the memory's wiped.
Dr. Ross, we've lost most of our electronics, including data acquisition,
Colonel, any chance of jerry-rigging it?
We're a dead stick right now, Doc.
We got rocket data coming in, hot down the pipe. Okay, we got 3,500 feet. We got 6,000 feet.
I hope you got that.
Tell me we got it. We got it.
I got it.
You need to see this.
Yeah.
Judith,
Ross.
we got perfect data from the rocket. I don't know about Davis yet, but...
Ross, Florida just called. Our storm track model just put out an alert. They think our northern storm is going to bend south. I think it's going to collide with Hurricane Eduardo. Ross? Ross, how bad is that?
Jude, if those two storms hit over DC and DC's thermal column interacts with the mesosphere, we're not talking Category 6. This is going to be a Category 7.